Hello, welcome to Capital City Bloodbath 2022, live in Ottawa,
Canada.
Ottawa. Welcome to Tsports Network, the home of tabletop sports. I'm Rob, and this is, no introduction.
None
the 40k
needed.
community need no introduction to the Falcon. Now, it's an early morning start to this Saturday it's Saturday of a two-day event. And we have got an exciting match. Well, two matches.
Two matches on the go. So, we get started here at 8 a.m. We spent all night eating shawarma and discussing how we were going to get this set up. And here we are. So we got two matches for you guys. I hope you're Mr. Miserable. Yes, very excited. We've got Caleb Edwards versus Diogo Pita, two best of friends. They drove here, both running armies that Caleb painted himself, and he is an amazing painter. And it's Necrons versus Dark Angels on table 1. And then we've got a double dose of Necrons because on table 2, we've got a slightly different take on the list with Thomas Palutnik playing Nick. What was his
Sorry,
name?
we'll find out in a moment. So none of them are using the core rule. They won't be using that to help their army out.
No,
so that's the different take.
We decided that they would not use core today.
They're not
Core
using
is
it.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary, not helpful. So just let you know who's in our crew. Our infield reporter and table boss is Rich. Thanks to Rich, big shout out. We will be getting some live coverage of the entire 114-person 40k event via Val the Heffelfinger, and our cameraman is Tom. So that's today. So two games now over this round. Then we've got four rounds today.
4 rounds today.
Wow, what is it? The LVO, Pete?
Yeah, right?
But that's 8, is it not? How many even is that? I don't even know now. I'm an Age of Sigmar kid. I don't know what that is.
LVO is 8 rounds, 9 rounds, 10 rounds, 11 rounds, depending on the day.
Yeah, 15 rounds.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like that after round 4. We do have 4 rounds of coverage today. 2.5-hour rounds, guys, so we might see some games not fit to completion. It's definitely some guys playing against the clock today.
So, we're doing all the setup. You should be able to type !list in the chat if you want to get the list. I know there's people watching, not yet, but in a minute. I know there's people watching from all around the world, and especially a special shout out to, we are on the Tsports Network Twitch, but also I know for a fact we're in the Competitive 40k Facebook group, and we're in the On Frontline Gaming Network. So shout out to everyone. If there's anything you want, please drop us messages in the chat. We'll try and bring it to you, and I hope you enjoy the coverage. So let us know what you need, and we'll get on with it. So if we jump over to table 1, and so this is Caleb. This is the best friend battle. Is that correct?
Best friend battle. Caleb
the best friend battle.
Yep.
Okay, so talk me through exactly. Oh, here we go. I think we can see the best friends right there.
Yeah, right there.
So there they are. There's our infield reporter, the lovely Rich. So Diego's on the right. Is that correct?
Yes, Diego's on our right.
Yeah.
Yeah, in red, and in blue, white, and black is Caleb.
Is Diego part of Team Canada?
No, he was at one point, but they didn't like him anymore because he's got a weird European heritage thing going on. It's a whole thing.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, like you only want purebred Canadians.
Exactly. You have to born and raised.
Yeah. If they're not born into a bath of poutine, is there either any point in having them on the team? In my opinion. Okay, so we're let's talk about the mission first, because that's going to be the important part. I noticed we haven't put objective markers out. That's my bad. That's the one thing I didn't check this morning.
You're the absolute worst.
Yeah, maybe we could encourage the players to do so now, even though it's after. They might do it for us.
Yeah, I believe they've got some tiny little ones that we're having a hard time
seeing. That's a disaster.
Yeah, it's an absolute
chat, I'm so sorry. But we might be able to draw them on the screen for you so you can see. So what mission are we playing, Mr. Falcon?
Mission we're starting off with is Death and Zeal. You can see they actually have clear objective markers. It's just because our cameras are so amazing, we can't pick them up. But we've got this one here in the middle. There's going to be one in this corner here. One, you can see it right here outlined here. There should be one, because of the ruin, they've probably moved it. So I'm just going to put it right around here. And another one over here. So these are your 5 objectives. As you can see, I know how to draw a perfect circle. This tool has the ability to do that for me. I just chose not to use it.
Oh, wait. Am I right in thinking they are? Hold on one moment.
Yeah, they're there.
They are using objective markers.
It's very clear.
It's just the Honest Wargamer objective markers are so clear, you can't see them. I'm so used to not watching 40k where it says, like, Team X-Force. Yeah.
X-Force is a very common team in 40K.
No, that's fine.
But this is perfect. So this is Death and Zeal. Death and Zeal is one of my favorite missions because it's no holds barred, all in. Your primary objectives are a hold 1, hold 2.
Okay.
Hold more, and that'll score you 4 points per thing you're able to accomplish.
So for a total of 12.
For a total of 12. Your other primary objective is to either A, hold the middle of the board, right here at the end of your turn, or to hold all of the objectives on the board. If you accomplish one of those two things, you get 2 points. If you accomplish both, you get 3. And we can see we're just moving into the bottom of turn 1. Guys, for both the tables we're running here, Necrons have gone first. And Diogo started off hard. We're waiting to get an update on the scores. They are uploaded to ITC Battles app, and they are synced to us, so we should see something shortly here once Richard submits the score. I do know that Diogo did manage to score at least 2 points on his opening round by touching the middle objective with his little bad boy. I believe that's his Transcendent Catan, if we can maybe get a
So we're just waiting to get
there.
The overlay should be getting updated soon, and you should be able to see the secondaries and see the score in a moment. But round 1 of an event, always going to be a bit tricky.
Yep.
Maybe that's not going to work 100%.
So for these lists, as I mentioned, both Necron players that we'll be watching here running slight variations on the same kind of idea. Diogo's running a very Scorpic, destroyer-heavy Necron list. This list is all about getting up in your chops using that Relentless Expansionist, which is an ability that pushes you up, gives you a pre-game move. And giving objective secured to your whole army. Those are his 2 that he's chosen. Necrons right now, amazing army. Real tight, real easy to play, really, because their secondaries are so easy to score. And Diogo's taking full advantage. The other thing he's got here that's kind of, I'm not going to say new tech, but it's new for right now. We've only seen it very recently. He's got 2 of these Ghost Arcs.
Okay.
They're like the Rhino for the Necron, so it's a little transport.
It's a transport, right?
Holds 10 guys, but because of the changes to Necron rules in the latest balanced data slate, they do have objective secured as well, as they are a vehicle, and they do have core.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, right? And also because they're a vehicle and they're core, can't they also get +1 to hit?
I believe so, yes. But the big thing is
I actually played with the Necron army like 2 weeks ago at a tournament of all things.
I don't believe you.
I was. Yeah.
But they also have Transhuman, which is going to be really good into this matchup against Caleb, or their version, where it can ignore damage. Like on a 1-4, they ignore 1-3, they ignore wound. They're just a really awesome little tech
shot,
piece.
Tom.
They're filled with Necron warriors, so even if you do manage to blow that up, the 10 Necron warriors get out and they still hold whatever objective he's sitting on.
Yeah, I think that's the key trick to them, right? Like, is you effectively use them. Hold on there, Tom, for a moment, if you fancy.
Tom's going crazy. Here we go.
Tom's having a great time. Yeah, the key element to this is that it's kind of like a double trick, because once you wipe it off the objective as it's objective secured, they get out. They're still objective secured. So you can't. And Falcon, let me get this right, because there might be some people who don't know. I can't charge them, then kill the stuff inside.
No.
So it's kind of like no matter what you do, that person's holding it for 2 turns.
In general, like Caleb's going to have to get real good on the shots here. So that's basically Diogo's army. He's also sitting on the Silent King, which is in every Necron list now, because the man is an absolute boss. He is the murder maker for the Necrons. He's a linchpin. So this is a very interesting list by Diogo. By adding these Ghost Arcs, I think it's a really good play. On the other side, we've Caleb Edwards running a pure Ravenwing army. He's got Samael.
The Dark Angels themselves. The Dark Angels, good guys or bad guys? I'll let you make the terrible jokes in the chat.
First Legion, Worst Legion. We'll just put it that way. So this list is all in on bikes, as you would expect. He's got Samael, who's effectively the chapter master of Ravenwing. He's got 3 Thunderstrike Storm Speeders, which are just excellent at...
those are the new releases?
Yes, they're the new Primaris. Because of Ravenwing, they got that 5-up invuln as long as he moves, and a 4+ invuln if they advance.
Wow. And they can still shoot after they've advanced, right?
I believe, yes, their Meltas are assault. He's also got a couple...
This army looks amazing. I know you're rifling through it, Falcon, and I appreciate it, but we don't need to. I think we're okay with the rifle. Can we just take a moment to look at that? Like, my goodness, who painted this? Was this Caleb?
This was Caleb. Caleb is like a premier painter. He sold armies for thousands and thousands of dollars to straight up crazy people at events. And I believe he actually has...
Caleb played the last time I was here 3 years ago with the Orcs.
He had the Orcs, yeah.
Wow. Absolutely incredible stuff.
And I believe he has 3 armies up for sale here today at the garage sale.
That he painted this week.
He painted this week.
Thanks, Tom. Incredible stuff. So Samael will be in that little bubble there.
I think we just saw him. We're kind of cutting away, but so Samael's right in the middle right here. And there's also a Talon Master in there, providing as many rerolls as possible. Because Caleb is, by the looks of things, early on trying to collapse a flank. Like, his goal is to take this side out. He's doing a little bit of damage here because he's got, it looks like, a few attack bikes shooting the rear of this, or the front of this arc. And then he's got a bike squad coming up to hopefully be able to clear it out if the Meltas had been successful at destroying the arc, because that's something he really wants. Caleb wants to take as many objectives early as possible.
So wait, would you describe the Ravenwing army as more of like a front-loaded army?
It's very like
what's its tempo?
This particular list is full of multi-meltas, so it wants to take on monsters, it wants to take on vehicles, and it's all about speed. So Caleb wants to get up in your face really fast and create problems for you. He wants
Isn't that difficult when it wants to? It doesn't want to play in a bubble. It doesn't operate around Samael, does it?
Not necessarily, no.
It's the movement that gives it the additional invuln save.
Exactly. So he's got the majority of his vehicles all around Samael because he wants them to get a little bit of pump. But those bikes, they're going to go off. They're going to tag objectives. They're going to cause Diogo to have to split his forces. Because Diogo's running outside of this, he's got, I believe, 2 squads of Scorpec destroyers and 2 squads of Ophidian destroyers, which are heavily melee-based units. They don't have a lot of shooting, and while they can be fast, they're nowhere near as fast as Caleb is. So if Diogo's having to split his forces, it's going to it really limits his play with like the Silent King and everything else. Caleb's also done a really good job of protecting his vehicles from the Silent King.
So the Silent King, is he inherently a shooting piece, or a mixture?
He is a mixture, but you can just by where his positioning is, and like this is Diogo really appreciating the amount of multi-meltas that Caleb has in his army. He's going to start as a shooting piece, and then once Diogo's able to clear off a couple of these front pushed up bikes, I fully suspect what we'll see is he'll come out to play. He'll pop out from around this, and then he'll get into close combat because he isn't a slouch. He just Diogo just needs a couple multi-meltas to drop for him to feel comfortable doing.
Good opportunity, I think, to talk about the terrain here at Capital City Bloodbath. So while it is mainly player placed, the 2 central pieces do not change on each map. So the 2 central pieces stay the same,
yes.
And then they player place the rest of the terrain. So
yes.
That seems quite effective.
It is, and with the way most of these missions are built, the player placed, it tends to be relatively rigid as to where everything's going to be.
Okay.
So if you look at every table here right now, because of the way the mission is and everything else, other than these crates, I would say just about every big piece is exactly where you're going to see it on every table. So we have these two-story pieces here that are obscuring. But the windows are wide open on them, so you can shoot through them if something's touching, like this Catan. But otherwise, they are blocking line of sight, which is great for Caleb here because the Silent King really doesn't have a lot that he can currently shoot at. Great.
Oh, so we just heard that in the shooting phase, because currently, just to keep everyone up to date, we're in the first turn. The first turn was won by Diego.
Yes.
And so he's gone first, and then and he didn't do much with his first turn shooting-wise, right? Because he had no opportunity.
He really had very little opportunity. So really, this was about positioning for Diego to score big first turn. He did get 11 points. But between the Thunder Strikes and the Landspeeder Vengeances, they're kind of in the circle that we were talking about. They did manage to pick up the arc that was here, which is good news for Caleb. He does have the opportunity to get off some charges. It looks like 1 warrior was picked up as they kind of collapsed out of that burning wreckage. So this is good for Caleb. It's not an easy charge, but he could get in here with some of these bikes and mess up these warriors and really start doing what he needs to do, which is take these objectives back. Another thing about this mission, Death and Zeal, that a lot of people forget, and it's really key, is this mission has what's called sticky objectives. So if at the end of your turn you have an objective secured unit on the
Tag and go. You can
walk
It's called
off.
sticky objectives.
Yeah, you can do it. Well, we call it sticky objectives.
We call it tag and go. That's so weird.
Yeah?
Sticky. That makes it sound gross.
Yeah.
I know it's 40k, and it's all and I assume looking at this is some sort of, as always, hive death world. Listen, the amount of cities that there are in 40k that are abandoned is wild.
It's really crazy.
It's wild.
You would think that they would have some kind of infrastructure.
House prices must be insane.
Yeah. Well,
I think have block.
I mean, look at what it is right now where we are.
And imagine in the 40,000th.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the
Inflation
entire
is
reason for the
insane.
strife. I haven't even thought about that.
So it looks like one of the other land speeders has gone and picked up another 7 warriors. Dickie here, yeah, Dickie's updating me. Yeah, it was the last 2 Landspeeder Vengeances have picked up a large chunk. But as I said, the sticky objective, what I mean by that, folks, if you're not caught up on the lingo, when your turn starts, actually, you have a unit that is objective secured on an objective, you keep that objective until somebody else gets on it.
Okay.
And so this is good for Diogo to lose those units the way he did in shooting, because the last 2 have now been picked off. It looks like the bikes shot them off. Diogo keeps that objective now until Caleb's turn. Until Caleb's next turn, really, before he's going to be able to put anything on it. And yeah, that's huge. That's going to keep scoring him an extra 4 points every turn here for at least holding 1. He's probably going to hold 2 to 3 when this is all said and done. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Thank you to the 95 Ginger Rage for the super chat. That's my first ever super chat I've ever been a part of.
You've never been super chatted?
We don't do the super chat on the TSN.
Well, we have to read it, so it's 10 CAD.
Yeah.
I don't know. Falcon and Rob, my 2 faves. What a great start to a Saturday morning. Looks like a day of painting and watching some 40K. Love the energy and banter. Hope the voices last for you. Stay hydrated. Well, I plan not to stay hydrated because I hate when people tell me what to do.
Yeah, right. I'm going to try and stay as hydrated as it's possible to be. Like that's going to be really important. So this is only one game of our games, although we are going to be going for a walk around in a moment.
Yeah.
That's going to be really important.
Do you think we could cut quick to table 2 there, Rob? I just want to start talking about.
Please, I would love you to. Please, yeah. So table 2, we've got Thomas versus Phil. What's going on here? Same mission. Same mission. We're
still on Death and Zeal. This is Tyranids versus Necrons. This Necron list that we have running here is pure destroyers with the Silent King. So there's no Ghost Arc tech. This is all Scorpex. It's all Ophidians, and it's all Locusts. This is a heavy damage output melee list using those Locusts as the backup fire support. It's actually well suited to go into this unique take on Tyranids. Tyranids have been a bit of a bane for a long time now, and even after all of the nerfs that they took with Nephilim, the Leviathan list is still extremely scary. We do have several of them in the field, but the game that we have going on here, Thomas Palutnik's beautifully painted Gorgon army is going heavy on poison. So he's running a number of units of Hormagaunts. He's got a Turbogon, not a Turbogon. He's got
a big bug.
He's got
a damn big bug.
He's got a Tyrannofex in there. He's running 2 Hive Tyrants and a Harpy. Like, his goal here is to put out as many wounds as possible with as little force as necessary. He's got the 2 Hive Tyrants, or at least one, is running his Reaper of Obliterax, which is meant to just wipe out units. And I believe he just did, clearing out the middle objective that Phil had taken early with one of his units of Scorpex. You can see the Silent King here in the bottom right.
Okay, Pete, this is the second time. The second Necron game, already the Silent King. I already know a little bit. Like, he got the core update, but like it wasn't taken tons before, or was it taken tons before? Like how has this changed? Why is it always everywhere?
Well, the big change for Silent King was taken a lot early in the edition, but as the game advanced and more big codexes that could easily drop a large monster creature like Silent King came into the picture, and everything kind of evolved, we started seeing less and less Silent King. Necrons had to move to more janky lists that were just, how many bodies can I put in this and possibly survive? But the core, the Nephilim change to Necrons, where anything with the vehicle keyword got core, really boosted the Silent King. He has the vehicle keyword, so now he can give himself more buffs than he could previously. Other units can buff him. There are stratagems that worked on him that didn't work before, and he's become an extremely efficient piece at scoring secondary objectives because of the great code of combat secondary that Necrons have access to. And like, the Silent King is just, he feels like a necessary piece for Necrons now. He's backfield shooting, he can get into close combat and wipe something out. He's easily protected because of those menhirs. It's just a great tech piece play that you want to have access to.
Okay, I'd love to hear more about this in the future, but this is only 2 games of 112 people playing, so 66 games or whatever the math
61,
is.
yeah.
61 games playing here. You can follow those on if you type !event. But in our field right now, bringing you all the hot gossip from what's happening at this convention is Mr. Val Heffelfinger out in the field. Hopefully this is working. Over to Val right now. No. Taking a moment. We have lost his audio. We're going to just fix that for a moment. Just take a moment, and we'll go back to Val in a second when I fixed the audio, because I just didn't fix it then.
You didn't fix it then?
I didn't fix it
That's
then.
okay.
I don't know why I didn't fix it. Like, he definitely was using it, but yeah. I'll get that fixed right now.
And he's so depressed. If you guys could see his face right now, he's so sad. We're making him go back into the field.
Yeah, you got to go back into the field. We're gonna have to do this live, chat. I'm sorry. I wanted this to look a little bit more professional. I'm not just streaming on the Tsports Network. I'm streaming on FLGN and the comp page. So I wanted it to look a bit professional, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do a bit of live tech support as we go live. So over to Val. He's gonna talk. I'm gonna press the button to make him talk, and this should all be working. So Val's gonna try and talk right now, and then we could just look. No audio from him right now. I can just talk about Val. Me and Pete can. So, he's definitely working. Don't worry, your microphone's working, bro. You just stay there. Tom can maybe... Yeah, you can just do a walk around. Tom, give us a walk around. Me and Pete will talk about the event. Pete, talk me through the event for a second. While Val tries to talk.
We do have 114 players here going live.
There we go. We were just on the wrong scene. That's all me. We're back, baby. We can hear you.
Okay, so I'll go do it again?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do the intro. Let's cut him in. Okay, so here we go. Over to Mr. Val Heffelfinger, live in the field. Okay, he's ready. Here we go. Okay, do the test.
Please turn around.
Please do the test.
Please turn around.
Please do the...
Hello. This is probably Val Heffelfinger doing this again. And what I was saying before is I'd like to welcome you, quick pivot turn, to the capital city bloodbath. Here in Toronto, not Toronto, that's where I'm from. This is Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Canada's national capital has a really beautiful big building on a hill. Usually Canada's largest tournament. I'm joined here by Canada's most average height TO. How are you doing, Darren?
I'm good.
Now, obviously, it's been 2 years because you guys got double burned by the COVID pandemic.
3 years.
3 years.
Well, this is the third.
Look, we're not mathematicians. Nonetheless, how are you feeling? Is it exciting to see all the people out here playing again?
Yeah, I mean, this hall is bursting full. We actually maxed the venue's table capacity. So, yeah, it's really good to see everybody back. And then people are hungry for it.
People are hungry. And also, something about Capital City Bloodbath that is pretty rare and amazing is lunch. And people will be hungry for lunch. What's being served today?
Today's lunch, I believe, is artisanal sandwiches.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Now, Darren, you are aware that that one of the commentators often will review events after the fact. Bathrooms are a big part of that rubric. How are you feeling about the quality of the bathrooms at the event today?
I think our bathrooms are pretty good. I mean, this venue, it's a convention center, so it's made for high volume flushing. So I think we're good.
You heard it here, folks. First, Darren says, get out there and punish those toilets. We're going to flip right back to the booth.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone. That was fun. I thought we were going to get more of a tour, but that's fine. That's a good intro. So, hello, everyone. Welcome back. And you're here at Capital City Bloodbath 2022 live on Tsports Network, FLGN, and competitive Warhammer 40K Facebook page. I think those are all of the places in where we currently are. We've got two games: Necrons versus Tyranids. Both players. And the Necrons and Tyranids have both had their first turn or into their first turn. I think we can have a little quick look at the scorecard now. As you can see, both started on 10 points for fully painted. That's what the little paintbrushes are. Congratulations to both of those. 2 points for Phil in his first turn. Thomas is still having his turn, so that's Tyranids. You've got Treasure of the Aeons, Code of Combat, and Ancient Machineries for Phil. Thomas has chosen Psychic Interrogation, Raise the Banners High, and No Prisoners. No prisoners for you, none of them. So that's everything that's happening on this table. Camera has been, the camera got a bit drunk then, but we will be trying to fix it in a moment. Pete is back now with the hot gossip from this, and don't forget we're going to be live all day. Thanks very much, Pete.
Yes.
How's it looking on table 2?
Table 2 is already starting off to be quite the massacre, but it's kind of fallen into Phil's plans here. The Necron player, as I said, like his list is generally really good into NIDS. He's got a lot of close combat. He's got those Locust Heavy Destroyers that can put the pain on models. And he's doing what Necrons do. He's sitting back, holding objectives, and then he's shoving stuff into the middle that Thomas has to deal with. And what we saw turn 1 was Phil shoved up his Wraiths, he shoved up his Tomb Blades, everything he could right into the Tyranid face, took that center objective to get those extra points early, and then started just doing what Necrons do, which is stand there. He did pick up 3 Pyrovores that Phil had sitting in the back, and with his Locust Heavy Destroyers back here. And he's just doing what he needs to do.
So am I right in thinking like the armies play very different? Like Necrons are going to score heavy on the primary and like just hold off. Maybe is it even to the point where they deny on the primary, or is that not really the situation?
He can deny on primary. He does have objective secured on literally everything here. The big thing is Necron secondaries are so strong that he can just sit back and keep performing actions to get his ancient machineries and his treasures of keep performing actions to get his ancient machineries. He has the Silent King there to get him Code of Combat points, which we've seen the Silent King will be coming out to play here probably next turn to start scoring for him on that. And then Treasures of Aeons. If the folks at home don't know what Treasures of Aeons is as a secondary, his opponent had to pick 3 objectives. That have to start being in no man's land, but after that can be anywhere in his deployment zone. With the way this mission is laid out, it really means that that Phil knew exactly which objectives were going to be those treasured objectives, and Phil could easily pop on them and score a bunch of points real early. And that's all he's going to do. He's going to shove models up, sit objectives secured, get his secondaries. Tom will kill them, because that's what NIDS do, but it won't matter by the end of the game. Because if Tom doesn't wipe him out by, say, turn 3, Phil will be so close to maxing all his points, Tom's going to be on the uphill battle the whole time. Now, luckily for Tom, he's got these Hormagaunts, and they're fast as hell.
Okay.
And they can rush up. They can cause Phil some problems, like as we can already see down here.
Are these the Hormagaunts we're looking at now?
Yeah. So right here we see them here. There's another set on an objective already because he's just rushed them up. He's got he's going to be trying to grab these objectives from Phil as early as possible to hold off those treasures points, to hold off those primary points. It's interesting.
So it's a very interesting. It's a hold the line army versus it's a castle versus a castle attacker.
Yeah.
Effectively. Okay, so we've got a big castle wall for the Necrons versus. Okay, I like that. That's quite interesting.
And the big thing for NIDS right now is what is this Reaper Hive Tyrant going to accomplish this game? It's already picked up 3 Canaptic Wraiths.
So what does it do? Why is it good?
So he's got in and around 1 billion attacks.
Okay, perfect.
And the main thing is he's got a relic called the Reaper of Obliterax, which every time he succeeds at wounding a unit, he does an additional mortal wound. So when you add that on to the massive damage that his bone swords can actually do, he can just start picking up model after model after model. It's perfect for multi-wound models, which all these destroyers are. And so what we're going to see is if he's not dealt with in the next 2 turns or so, he's just going to hop over here. He's going to pick up these heavy destroyers, and then he's going to jump into this castle unless the Silent King can come out and play.
Well, so should we take a moment to listen into... we should, again, tech test live in round 1. Round 1 should be the tech test.
Yeah.
That's what everyone should just get used to. Let's see if we can listen in on the players and see how they're doing right now in their game. If everyone in the chat just wants to let us know if you can hear it, you should be able to hear it.
No audio.
Okay. I think you can hear it. I think I had to press a button. Okay. Okay. Appreciate that, chat. All right. No audio there, apparently. Okay. Okay, so they're the true Silent Kings. Okay, all right. So, okay, thanks, chat. I'll get that fixed during the break. Only my tinnitus, and we know it's testing. Be cool. Thank you, everyone, chat. All right, no worries. I could hear it though through the monitor. That's
we
weird.
could hear it here.
Yeah,
so
we could hear it here.
There's probably an output that we need to correct here.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, fantastic. Thanks, everyone, for helping with the live test. That should be something we cut to in the future. Okay, no problem. No problem. Okay, so that's table 2. So let's just jump back to table 1, shall we?
Yeah, let's hop back there.
Mm-hmm.
Tight game, 20-25, going into top of turn 2 here for Diogo. As we can see, Caleb was able to pop a land speeder onto this objective after blowing everything up. I don't know if he did a move, shoot, move scenario here to get it, but that's big news for him because that has garnered him that point. Caleb was not, however, able to kill this extra, these scarabs, which was something else he wanted to accomplish so that he could take the middle at the end of his turn. But Diogo did manage to keep it for himself with that Catan still in play. Dickie, can you tell me what's going on here at the table?
Yeah, Dickie's going to be able to give us an update in a moment. He's going to swap mics with Val, definitely, is going to be the next plan, that mic, and then we're going to use that for everything, because that one seems to also be on the fritz, so we'll get that sorted out ASAP. Haven't been able to, the garbled audio we've heard coming through was Dickie trying his hardest out there.
Yeah, trying to do his best.
There we go.
There
we go. So chat, who do you want to see on the stream today is kind of the big question.
What kind of factions do you guys want to see after this? We've already got 2 Necrons. We're probably going to see some Necrons day 2 because they're just such a great army.
There we go. We're much better. We're in the Necron shooting phase is where we currently are. So that means we're into turn 2, right?
We are into turn 2. Like I'd mentioned, Diogo is putting in some shots into, looks like a couple of the land speeders here. I'm just trying to get an angle, and now he's gone into shooting the Ghost Arc into these 3 bikes by the looks of things. So Diogo really wants this Ghost Arc to survive at least one more turn, and he doesn't want anything on the objective when he does. So he's going to be trying to pick up these 3 guys here if he can, and then probably put in some damage on these attack bikes just to keep everything alive and well. As you can see, the Silent King has rounded the corner, and he has come out to play. It just needed to happen because of the speed of Caleb's army, and because Caleb has had such an easy time of blocking out all his heavy hitters down here. So Silent King needs to come out for angles. He needs to protect his big, fast assets.
Yeah, interesting. And then there's just so much output coming out from the Ravenwing army, right? Those multi-metals that are able to deal quite nicely. Because obviously, like with quantum shielding, like it's going to be tough normally to wound these.
Yeah.
Maybe do you think quantum shielding is going to affect the multi-metals enough?
I think so. It already did for 1 turn, which was big. Like normally these 3 attack bikes coming in from this angle would have just blown up any other transport, but the transhuman, I believe that last I saw, that transport had 6 or 7 wounds remaining. It probably won't last another turn unless the Silent King or somebody does something about it. Can we get a close-up here on the left-hand side to see what Diogo has brought in?
Oh, sure. Yeah, on the left-hand side, that'll be our infield reporter, our Roman camera,
these
Tom.
Are the Ophidians?
Let's give him a moment where he should be able to get us there.
Yeah, so we got Ophidian destroyers that have come in on this side. If these Ophidians can get a charge off on those bikes in the top corner, like I believe that's going to be Diogo's plan. If we can pan down just a little bit, yeah. So these 3 bikes are something Diogo wants to deal with. I assume Diogo counts down, and he's not some kind of animal that counts up. So it looks like there's 8 wounds remaining on that Ghost Arc. It wouldn't survive. I don't think it'll survive another turn of shooting.
It's those invuns, right? Like if he makes them though, it's just staying around.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the key part. So Necron's going to choose the 1 unit to give the invun save to during that turn or that phase.
And it looks like Caleb was able to have one of the bikes that he'd had on the objective survive. Yeah.
Oh, so the Ghost Arc is charging the bike.
Yeah.
Okay,
so there's
why?
2 bikes here. Well, he wants to clear this objective off as best as he can. So we're doing the bigger charge first. This charge here. This is a very important charge for Diogo if he wants to keep this objective. So he failed, and he CP rerolled. And He got it in. CP reroll nails it in. So this is really big for Diogo. He'll be able to. Oh no, he was going for the one into this. Interesting.
Oh, nice. He's starting to punch into the castle.
Well, this is good because it is the castle, but also there's an objective here. so.
But
now we're doing.
He's really split. He's split the field, right? Like in a nice way. Like he's like, you want to take this top left-hand corner, and you've already produced resources and assets to do so.
Yes.
Obviously, the Silent Kings are here also. Do you want to come and try and get this? Catan's here. And then now bottom left-hand objective. So like that little bunker of Ravenwing has got a lot of options. And I like doing this when you play against people.
Yeah.
You give someone else a bunch of options. Sometimes you don't even know what the right answer is.
Exactly.
But it gives them the opportunity to make the wrong choice, which maybe you don't even know at that point.
It's a really big strategic play because really what you see is one of two strategies. It's collapse a flank or spread out all your resources and force your opponent to make bad decisions. And what we saw was Caleb trying to collapse a flank. He probably didn't put enough resources into that top left-hand corner because he really should have tried his best to blow up that second Ghost Ark. He wasn't able to accomplish it. It looks like the Catan. Did the Catan fail a charge, or are we doing an Overwatch? Yeah, So got to confirm that Blood Angels Dark Angels are overwatching into this Catan charge, into this unit of, I believe those are attack bikes.
Did Dark Angels get any? Ravenwing get any bonuses for that Overwatch?
No, but with the multi-meltas, even if he gets one in, it's going to be big because the Catan has already taken the max wounds it could last turn.
And does that mean it could potentially die this turn? No.
No, but he'll be down to possibly 3 wounds, and then he could die in the close combat, which is really something Caleb would be big on. But it looks like he did take a multi-melta to the face, but he saved it. So nothing going on there.
How do you save a multi-melta to the face?
Well, usually it's that
Smile.
invuln save that you smile.
You smile and try really hard.
But this is really, really good for Diogo. Getting off this 9-inch charge here into these bikes, having to reroll, but getting the charge in on this land speeder. Like this objective is now. This objective is now his. This objective is going to stay with him. So last charge was this last unit of Ophidians, and they failed. But that's okay. I think he's got enough damage output here. Plus, he is objective secured with these Ophidians, so he'll be able to take this objective back. Take this from Caleb regardless.
So they're in a good spot.
He's in a very, very
So
good
Ophidians,
spot.
do you think that we got any opportunity for any interrupts from Caleb right now? So we got the combat in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see any kind of interrupt here. The only one that might have interrupted were the attack bikes, and Diogo's going first on that. These 2 bikes aren't going to do enough damage to this Ghost Ark for it to matter. And vehicles are not normally well known for punching anything.
No. I mean, depends on the vehicle, though.
Yeah,
Silent King's a vehicle.
Yes,
a vehicle.
The vehicle. Yeah, the rider makes a big difference.
Yeah, I guess it's not the actual. No. I guess it's the guy atop the chariot as opposed to the chariot itself. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, that's good. So all these combats. So the Catan, do you think will do a good job into the unit in the bottom? Yeah.
Yeah. So that Catan should pick up those bikes, which will be another concern for Caleb. And even if he doesn't, it's he's tying something up, so now Caleb has to fall back. He has to rely on maybe using a strat so he can still fall back and shoot.
Yeah, Diego's put a lot of pressure on, right?
Yes.
A lot of pressure.
Oh yeah.
This is really good. Because this isn't what I was expecting when I saw a Necron army. I was expecting more stand or maybe is this going to be the difference between the 2 Necron games that we're going to see?
I think that's what you're seeing. Diogo is well known for playing a way more aggressive style of list,
across any army.
Interesting. He has no patience. If you've ever met the man. Diogo didn't choose the pure life. You're 100% correct. If you've ever watched him play a game, he's just a nightmare. And, just so great. So it looks like he did pick up 2 bikes with the Ophidians. He didn't manage to clear the 3rd, but now he's going to consolidate in. He's going to trap him in that corner. Just judging by the way he did it, he's probably going to have to spend CP if he wants to fall back. That's really great for Diogo because those Ophidians aren't going to get shot next turn. He's there to stay. So we've moved on to the second attack.
Yeah, that's great. Wouldn't you rather just kill them down to the 1 in that particular situation?
In this particular situation, it's perfect for him. I don't think Caleb would have done too much to them anyway, just judging by where his resources are located. So we're seeing this combat here. These 3 Ophidians are going to try and put as much damage onto this land speeder as possible. Possibly pick it up. Let's see what we got going on.
I mean, yeah, because that's one of his 3 land speeders.
Yeah, so he has 3 land speeders and 3 storm speeders. It looks like he's going to take...
yeah, of course, the storm speeders being different to the land speeders. Completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Night and day. Gladiator tank versus Goliath. No, not Goliath.
Predator.
But yes, different.
Yeah, they're slightly bigger and a little more round.
Yeah.
Got a little more junk in the trunk.
They're a bit more healthy.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah, they've eaten their vitamins. So it looks like he put about 6 wounds onto that land speeder with the Ophidians. The big thing, though, is he's on the objective with those 3 boys, and it's once again going to cause Caleb to have to make a decision. Does he continue on his path? Does he deal with this unit that's over here right now that's going to cause him a lot of headaches if he doesn't? Or does he backtrack?
Honestly, love Diego's play here. Yeah? Right. Question, do we know what the Necron Constant Protocol is? Yeah, no problem. Fictitiously famous. We'll find out for you in but moments. The protocol on table 1 is, and our man in the field, Rich, will tell us in but moments. Yeah, because that's going to be quite important. There's the constant on protocol now,
Yes.
isn't there? So Eternal Guardian and the directive to Overwatch on 5s. So
Yeah.
Eternal Guardian's taken all the time now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so he's always +1 strength, and he overwatches on 5s now. That's really good with this list because it is a primarily close combat list. He doesn't have a ton of shooting. The Silent King is doing most of that work for him. So.
Okay, fantastic. And then, so then that's our game on table 1. We'll be getting you some more information from the field at some point soon.
Can we get some Space Wolves? We'll see what we can do here in the upcoming rounds to see if anybody with Space Wolves is actually good at this game still. It's very hard to say.
To ask.
Most
That's
people
a lot
have
to
dropped
ask.
them. I mean, even Jaime Paris is playing Tyranids.
There's a furry convention in town.
Thing.
They're busy.
But our roving reporter is going to go to see if he can find us a Space Wolf game so that you can at least look at the models.
Yes, of course. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, okay, well, yes, great. So table 2, so this is Thomas versus Phil. So this is our more defensive castle Necrons versus our aggressive, wait, can bugs even eat Necrons? What's the lore on that?
Oh, I don't know. It's
are they biomass? Is it just all mass? Like me, all mass.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. So we're in the Necron shooting phase. I don't see that Hive Tyrant in the middle anymore. What happened there?
Okay, yeah, we'll find out. We'll get an update. So just so you guys can check out the scorecard just for a moment. Currently, if the update is correct from Rich, that can't be because. So we'll get that. We'll get that.
Well,
redone.
this would just be top of turn 2. So it looks like we just haven't updated that part. In that case, I think the points are probably close to accurate. We'll find out for sure here in a second. It looks like Rich is double checking what they've written down to make sure he's got it all accurate. I'm really concerned here by not seeing a giant Hive Tyrant in the middle of the board already. Did he move it over here in the corner?
Well, there it is. There it is.
So he popped off the objective. He was like, "I'm out of here.
I'm not sticking around here.
Peace, boys."
Yeah, I'm out. So he's at the back center of the board.
Yeah.
So the top, if you're looking at the top down with us, so he's moved back. So the castle seems to be aggressively moving forward. This wasn't what I was expecting, but we're putting these units on the objectives.
Well, no, this is exactly what I like. This is like the feeder system that I kind of mentioned would probably happen here, where he's just shoving things up because he wants to get these points, because he wants to get his Treasures of Aeon points. So he's got a model here, he's got a guy here, and he's got all this here. So he's trying to score those points as quick as possible. Silent King. Where's the Silent King, boys? Let me get a camera on the Silent King. Or was he made dead? No, I don't see him on any trays, so. Is he hiding at the bottom of the screen and that's why I can't see him?
Oh, we'll find him. There you go. There he is.
There he is. He's behind that building.
There he is.
Look at that beautiful boy.
Yeah,
Look at that beautiful, beautiful boy who's the same strength as a Primarch.
I mean,
As
he's
he should
literally
be.
almost the god of these guys.
Yeah, as he should be.
As he should be. As he should be. Yeah, great. So there he is. He honestly just looks like he's in a corporate office right there.
Yeah.
Like he's about to go do the day shift. He's going to pick up a latte on his way to work. That's a tough day. Let's try and get more into the theme. The terrain here, as you can see, a standard cityscape. Something to be conscious of.
People want wolves so bad. They want them. I don't. It's weird.
Yeah, they love it. So yeah, so the Silent King's in that center block, isn't he? To the left.
Yes.
There, and then he's surrounded by what are these other units we're seeing?
So these are the Locust Destroyers that I kind of mentioned earlier. These are really good into all these monsters. So the Silent King is backing them up for protection. It's a good play because otherwise, remember how I said that Reaper Hive Tyrant would just come out and start eating them if he didn't. By pulling the Silent King up on his turn and forcing it here, that's why we saw the Tyranid player decide, you know what, I'm just going to run away for a minute, lick my wounds, and come back into play. Now, are we on? This feels like more like we're on turn 3.
No, so we're on turn 2.
Is it bottom of turn 2 right now?
Bottom of turn 2.
That's why. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we picked up 14. Thomas picked up 14 points in his second turn.
That's huge.
That's big. What, do you think that's good or not enough?
Well, I mean, max points on secondary on your turn 2 for Thomas here is big for him because it's putting more pressure on this Necron player because Necrons usually are the ones that have that early primary lead.
Okay.
And he's taking it away from him. Like this, getting almost max points. He's off by 1. It's a really good play for him.
Okay, so he's super happy about that.
Oh yeah, he's got to be. He's got to be just ecstatic. Those Hormagaunts here in the bottom corner definitely helping him out with that. He's not overly ecstatic. Something bad must have happened that we haven't seen yet here. Having to pull back is definitely not something he probably wanted to do. So this aggressive play with the Silent King, I would say he probably didn't have much interest in.
So just Rich, we'll just keep us updated whether or not what phase we're in. Like we're in the shooting phase, charge phase, or where we might be. One more unit to shoot. Who we seeing shoot what? What did
our Necron player lose here in the shooting phase? I do see 1 less Harpy on the board. Yeah, so the Nids lost their flyer.
Yeah, in the bottom right-hand corner, we lost that. The bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, we lost them in the bottom, right? So, yeah, we lost our big flyer there for the Tyranids. That means that they've lost some of their mobility, right? Like to strike into the opponent.
The Harpy is a really big turn 1 play. Once that turn 1 happens, you're really just like hoping for the best.
Yeah.
It's an amazing tech piece. It can pick up characters if you're not careful. That Stranglethorn Cannon's amazing on it, or Venom Cannon, depending on what he picked. And lots of mortal wounds it can put out if it flies over the right units. Necron player put a bunch of wounds on the Malanthrope as well. It's down to 2 remaining.
2 left.
Very interesting. Very interesting here.
So do we think we're going to see any charges from the Necrons, from the Tyranids here? Sorry, what do you expect to see? From the Necrons.
From the Necrons?
We're in Necron's turn, right?
If we're on the Necron's turn, it has to be turn 3 is the problem. So we still have to be on Nids, or there's just been a miscommunication about who went first.
Round 2.
So they must have had. We were told Necrons went first. They must have gone second. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, Dickie. Dickie guy in the field lying to us from the beginning. So it looks like Krons are measuring out to see if there's any viable charges. If there are any Scorpex or anything nearby, like he's going to want to try to clear out more of these Hormagaunts because this middle block is just going to come back and pop on objectives and cause him more grief. Having a Malanthrope down to 2, losing the Harpy, it's not the worst case scenario here.
He's got lots to strike back from, right? Because you've got whatever Phil decides to do with his Necrons, he has to push into the objectives in the top left, the middle, or the bottom, and you've got some big opportunities for Thomas to charge out.
Can we get a close up on that charge? So that was a 12-inch charge that he just made. He went for glory and hit those Hormagaunts.
Hit the big numbers
with the Scorpec destroyers. So those Hormagaunts are likely very dead.
I hope he's going to LVO because he's going to score big on the tables.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's what he's going to do. Like, that is a lot of luck that he's bought.
Spiking a 12 on a 12-inch charge is...
You don't hate that. You don't hate that for yourself, do you?
Never.
And that's been able to get him slingshot around the piece of terrain as well, right?
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I think is good.
And he's going to be right in that Hive Tyrant's face. He's going to force our friend here to make a decision because guaranteed this Hive Tyrant was planning on coming in and dealing with the Silent King, and now he might have to deal with these Scorpex that'll be touching his butt.
Yeah, yes, he will. He will. That'll be after his first port of call, which is nice because that means that the terrain, the terrain plus, that is going to block out some of the movement into the center objective, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is nice. Okay, I love that. That's really fun. Yeah. He's got to be really happy about that charge then.
He really does. I mean, he does have these Tyranid. I believe these are. We've got some Pyrovores. These might be the Biovores that are left here, which can kind of cause some move blocking. If he absolutely needs them. He's got his Zoanthrope and Neurothrope that can psychic off some of these units, but he's not in this charge he did not want to have happen. He wanted these Hormagaunts available to steal back this top objective, I would say, is what he would have done, and let the let the Hive Tyrant come in, try to land around here, and then smoke the Silent King from the side.
So he's gone in, he's charged, and we've got 6 dead
Only
Toymagants.
6.
Only 6. Not as good as you thought.
No, I thought he'd pick them all up, or at least get enough of them that a leadership test.
How do you feel about the strike back? So we've got 4 left in that unit, striking into 2 destroyers.
3 destroyers. There's
3
one
destroyers.
hiding.
Sorry. Now, they are hiding.
Now the
it's not very destroyer.
The Hormagaunts, like, this is Gorgon, so he does have poison on him. He's going to be probably auto wounding on 5s to hit, which is not bad. He might, if he gets extra lucky, pick up 1. I sincerely think we're just going to see a couple wounds put on a guy. If he picks up more than 1, then like he won the lottery here.
Yeah, he's going to be super happy about that, right? Yeah, and then we've got. We've got a big monster in the top left-hand corner. Silent King still in the bottom left. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
So yeah, we just heard we got 2 6s rolled on.
So the I believe that's his Maliceptor that he has there. One of the Scorpex went into that. That's why he only picked up 6. It's because this guy here must have been in and split and put the attacks into this. And we had 2 6s for saves to save. Otherwise,
so our destroyer in the center. Oh no, sorry. So we do have a destroyer in the center, kind of hiding right in the middle of that bit of ruins that you can't see. And that destroyer in the center was able to attack into so we can see it now. There we go. Oh wait, there were 2 able to attack through.
Oh, that was a squad of 4.
A squad of 4. So we had 2, and that's why they only lifted so few of the Termagants, because 2 of them attacked into
the Hormagaunts,
the Hormagaunts, sorry, and attacked into the Malanthrope. Nope.
It's either the is that the Trigon or the Maliceptor there, Dickie? My screens are a little blurry. Hiding by. It's the Trigon, sorry, Turbogon. Trigon, yeah. Okay, so that's big. You want to keep that Trigon around as long. It's a Tyrannifex then. He doesn't have a Trigon in his. Is that what you were trying to say? Mama Bug.
The chat doesn't know what a Mama Bug is, though, I don't think.
Gitley, this is player placed, but only for the outer edge pieces. The center pieces are always in the center, these 2 Ls. Everything else is player placed terrain.
Okay, so this is our game 2, and then we can jump back to our team 1 and keep us updated with what's happening there, and see how Caleb with his Raven Wing is been able to unpack his army. In turn 1, we saw he took a pretty conservative position in the mid board. However,
So Caleb turn 1, he popped the majority of his army here into this bottom side. He fanned out and tagged objectives with his bikes and with a couple of land speeders. This was in response to Diogo having put his Ghost Arcs on these 2 outer objectives, here and here, and having a Catan and a couple of Scarabs on the middle. And what Caleb had to do, this kind of forced Caleb to split his forces, but he's a very fast army. So he was capable of picking up one of the Ghost Arcs, picking up all the Necrons on it. He managed to move a land speeder, I believe, and I might be wrong on how that happened, onto the objective to steal it from Diogo. And kind of slow down Diogo's primary. But what we saw in the clapback was Diogo was able to...
Big turn from Necrons. Loads of charges.
Bring in 3 units of Ophidians on this table edge and make charges into this land speeder, into what used to be a squad of attack bikes. And he managed to clear out a lot of Caleb's resources and hold them into the corner. So this is big for Diogo. He may be able to save, if not the Ghost Arc here, the guys inside it. So Caleb's really going to have to work for it. Also, the Silent King came out to play, and that's another thing that Caleb's going to want to start to deal with. And what you've seen...
so then he's unpacked his army pretty progressively now, right? Like
yes.
he was kind of centered in that square box in the middle, and now he's really like fanned out.
Yeah.
We call this my favorite thing to call this is unpacking an army. You tend to do this even maybe more so in 40k. You normally are hidden behind an L, like in some way, and the unpack I think is really important because it really denotes
this
what
is
you're
when the game starts.
Yeah, that's when the game starts, and effectively that's when you start to trade pieces on objectives and do the whole lot. So this is the first time we've actually seen, because we saw some like little sniping bits come out
Yeah.
from Caleb. This is the first time we've seen the army actually unpack now, and now the board's looking pretty interesting.
Yes, so like we see these 3 attack bikes here, along with this is Samael. That might be his Talon Master, although I believe this is actually his Talon Master here in the middle. And one of the Thunderstrike Storm Speeders. I think what we're going to see here is they're going to put as many shots as they can into these Locusts to start, see how much damage they can clear off of here, and then if they manage to pick them up early, then the extra shots can go into the Silent King. That's the angle he's looking to get. He is willing to let the Silent King go for one more turn if he absolutely has to. I believe this is his Talon Master here to put a couple wounds on this Catan, but more importantly, clear out the Scarabs on this objective so that Caleb can take it back.
I won't lie, Pete. I've not been particularly impressed with the Catan. Like, it's moved in the middle, taken some damage, and now it's going to die. Like, I haven't overly been impressed with what it's either with how it's been used or what it even does.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot of damage, and that max amount of 3 wounds per phase that it can take, it does have a bit of an advantage here. We're seeing at least one squad of Ophidians looks like got picked up by Caleb, the one that was that had pinned that land speeder in the bottom, and now he's trying to take out the ones that failed their charge up here.
So he has. Oh yeah, wow. So he's already been able to clear that bottom left-hand objective. From those Ophidians who weren't able to pick up the land speeder.
They weren't.
And now he's able. So he's going to lose 2 units of Ophidians for no real gain, bottom left-hand corner. Do you think it's just a dice-off, or was it the right decision?
I think this was. I believe Diogo made the right choice in doing what he did. Caleb falling back. It did force him to split his resources. It was an objective that he didn't have on his turn. For Caleb, when it came back to Caleb's turn, which is big because it kept his primary score down. It's not the best to lose both units, but Ophidians are pretty cheap, so it's not the greatest loss either.
Okay, so they're a big opportunity cost unit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think the big play here is going to see how many resources Caleb has to put into these Locusts on the right with this shooting. If the rolls are low, then Diogo's going to be super happy. If the rolls are high, then he's going to be real sad because that Silent King is going to take a bit of a pummeling himself.
Okay, so order of priority, we got the unit on the right-hand side that we're trying to clear off.
Yes.
Okay.
These need to die because if enough of them survive, they're just such a good close combat piece that they will pick up the majority of what's hanging out here, and he'll be left with probably just Samael if it's all said and done. And so it looks like the Thunderstrike picked up 2 or 3. Okay, so 3 in total down from I'm going to say the Land Speeder and the Thunderstrike. We're waiting to see if those attack bikes go in as well as that. Is that the Talon Master Dicky or is that Samael that's hanging out? I'm sure that's Samael.
In the middle.
Yeah, Samael.
Samael, not Samael.
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 Yeah.
It's a whole Dr. Zeus thing.
You can see him there in the middle. Again, these armies are absolutely outrageous. Like, they look fantastic.
They're so gorgeous. Caleb is a beautiful painter. His OSL highlighting is incredible. We're just getting an update here from Dicky as to what's going in next. Oh, wow. Okay,
so this is a unit on the far right-hand side.
So with all of that shooting, Diogo then used reanimation protocols and rezzed 2 of those Scorpex back up.
So just to get it right, you go through this whole cycle of a single shooting profile from a unit, and then after you remove the casualties, do you then go through reanimation, or do I do it at the end of the phase?
At the end of the phase, or at least I'm assuming Caleb was just like, I'm done shooting them, and so they just did it right now. Would be my guess.
And bringing 2 back is huge.
And bringing 2 back is massive. That's really good for Diogo.
So that's on the far right-hand side.
Yeah. So now, at least at the end of the phase, because now, Caleb's gonna have to charge them probably with Samael to try to pick up more. I'm not sure if he's gonna want to.
Is Samael good in a fight?
Samael's a pretty good fighter. He's a Space Marine chapter master. Well, chapter master adjacent, and so he's doing his best work. Wow, that's really good for Diogo.
Yeah, he's going to be super. But that means that we've got that unit. This is the unit we're talking about on the bottom left-hand side that you can see right now on the side shot. I'm pretty certain.
No, thanks, Nick. You're right. I was mistaken on reanimation protocols. My brain was farting.
Yeah.
Dicky's making fun of me for that. So what do we got going on here now?
Okay, so we should be into the charge phase now, right?
No,
With all
we're
shooting
still, I
over.
think we got more shooting going. Oh, okay. So they have gone back to shooting into the unit.
Okay, so gone. So he started again.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this is interesting because all of the damage this takes on the far right hand side is going to detract from how much damage the Silent King is taking at the moment.
If he's going to take any.
If he's going to take any, does that mean the Silent King's got the opportunity to go into that unit in some of those units in the bottom? That's good.
Oh yeah, if he wants to. I mean, he could decide, because this is a lot weaker now on Caleb's side, to just mosey on in here and bully literally everything.
Caleb, I thought, like looking at the board state from the turn before, Caleb looked pinned in, but that is not the situation now. Like he is everywhere, and he's removed a lot.
So he removed two Scorpex. One more Scorpec has died. So he removed 2 units of Ophidians. He's lost
Whittling
3 of those
down.
Scorpex. I'm not sure if he'll be able to clear the squad. It'll be big if he can clear the squad. But Diogo still has this squad up here that are going to be safe. He's still got this Ghost Arc that not much is going out through. Caleb is going all in. So he's taking shots from the middle now, 2 shots that he was probably going to put into those Scarabs or into the Silent King. He's now he's forced to deal with these Scorpex because he needs them down to 1 or 2 so they don't just like pick up the Thunderstrike or pick up one of his characters.
Okay.
I believe that's actually, you know what this is? That's his Apothecary. That's
oh boy.
That's what's hanging out there.
Oh boy, that's what you need in these times. A medic, especially later on.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need someone to
always need a Merrick.
Yeah. Apparently, so Nick in the chat thinks that you always need 2 Catan versus a Raven Wing list.
Yeah. Gotcha. So it looks like this land speeder here, this Thunderstrike, is going to pop the big guns into the Scorpex and his little guns into the Scarabs to try and whittle them down. I mean, this Talon Master can clear them out. It shouldn't be a problem. But he wants to make sure that he does as much
Diego's going to be
damage as
losing
possible.
a lot this turn.
He is.
Like,
I still don't think he's in that bad of a shape. We'll have to see.
He's lost a lot of board presence. Like, what does he do? What does he bring to bear? That's the real question.
It's going to be the Silent King. That's going to be what might change this around for him. Because you're right, he did lose a lot of board presence. He does still have a little bit hanging out in the back that he can bring out to play. There is a unit hiding in this ruin that is not Scarabs that can come out as well. So we'll have to see. If we can get an angle, I want to see exactly what is in that top right-hand ruin. Maybe it is just a 3rd unit of Scarabs, but I thought he had another unit of Destroyers up there.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so let's. This is table 1, and this is our match now.
Looks
so
like we're getting a cut to there to see. No, not that. Sorry, wrong ruin. That's cool though. Yeah, I believe it's the opposite side.
Yeah, the opposite side. That's a toughie. The ruins on the board really make it a challenge to find out where units are. Right. That's always the one. Thank you very much, Gitley. I'll get that fixed during the break. It was, so everyone knows here, an 8 a.m. start with 4 rounds. So we will be live until 9:30 tonight.
Thanks for the subscription, Malcolm Long. You're a beautiful man.
Appreciate that, everyone. Okay, but I'll get that fixed during the break. That won't be a problem.
So it looks like 2 of the Scarabs have been picked up. Oh, yeah, see, so there's still another whole big block of Scorpec Destroyers here. And he's got his Technomancer. So yeah, that's big. That's good for Diogo. He's still got these guys in play. I'm less worried now. I mean, Caleb still has the speed. He's still got all those multi-meltas. It's not easy street for Diogo, but he's not in as bad a shape as he could have been.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this.
Do you want to cut back to? Okay.
So go on after you, Pete.
No, it looks like Caleb's just got the last of his shooting to do, and then we'll move to the charge phase. I think when we move to charge, maybe we cut to the other table and see what's going on.
Yeah, so just jumping over to table 2 and get you updated with what happened from the beginning of turn 1. We know that, just to double check, I'll get this right. So Thomas with his Tyranids went first, moved into the mid-board. Necrons then did the same, and then in turn 2, Necrons really unloaded into the Tyranids.
Yeah, so we saw like a lot of bloodshed in turn 2 for the Necrons. They did manage to clear out another unit of Pyrovores. They weakened both the Maliceptor and the Trigon. And the big thing here is we get to see what I kind of said earlier about this Necron like early game point disaster because of the way their secondaries are scored. 49 points in turn 2 for Necrons, bottom of 2. Like, that's insanity. He's already scored half of the maximum amount of points that he can score. Just because those Necron secondaries are so deadly, he did hold more, so he did score his max 12 as well.
So yeah, if we take a
Gotcha.
So he's already got 10 points on Treasure of the Eons, and then Ancient Machinery is also up on 8.
And it looks like there had been a mistake in Thomas's primary earlier as well. He's down to 7, so that's better for Phil, because I thought him maxing primary was incredible. Being only down to 7, much easier for Phil to do his work. Max 15 though, and those secondary scores. That Ancient Machinery is like the average score for Ancient Machineries right now in competitive play is 11 of 15.
11 to 15.
It is the highest scoring secondary in the game right
That's
now.
That's huge, because as I remember during the last chapter approved, generally the highest you were getting towards was 10.
Well, that was for something that we would consider
as average,
like broken.
Yeah,
like
yeah, that
average
was way
like
over
7 or 8.
Yeah, the average was lower. So the charge from the Silent King took 4 mortal wounds.
So
from
was this? Was it the Silent King taking the mortals, or was this the Flyerant took 4 mortal wounds from the Silent King when he charged in? How much damage did the Silent King take when that Obliterax went to play? Anything at all, or did he whiff? Are the Menhirs still there? I see 2 Menhirs, so I assume not much happened. Oh, they haven't done the combat yet. Okay. I was a little worried there that Reaper did not do its work. Taking 4 mortal wounds is not good, but like he's still fine. He's going to put some hurt on the Silent King. Having this, because this is the centerpiece model for this Nid army, and he's going into this. Yeah. So
they're working through.
It looks like they're calling a judge over because there's some little bit of complication here between the strike last on the Silent King and the strike first that the Nids have.
Yeah, they're working out now. I feel like you should be able to hear the player audio, because we can hear the player audio.
Yeah.
But I don't know why that's not working for you at home.
The grates are, I believe, indeed a dense terrain, and that is all.
Okay, they're working out now. That's the plan. Judge in the field.
So we're just listening real closely to the discussion. Yeah, okay, so the Necron player thought that he had fully negated the Reaper's chance to strike until the end of the turn. Judges come in and said, nope, everything kind of cancels out. And so we're going to see what the Reaper's capable of doing here to the Silent King by the looks of things.
And this is the big bad Reaper, right? This is all the damage all the time coming in here.
Yeah. Oh,
Silent King is going to be attacking
Silent
first, though.
So
they're fighting through a window. Is that
just
correct?
One little window? Yeah.
Just one window.
Yeah, they're just hanging out. Look at this. This doesn't seem like it's possible, but that's Warhammer for you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If you can use your imagination to think about gigantic bugs coming in and eating the very life force of your planet, I'm sure you can imagine that they can reach through windows.
Yeah, they can. I feel like
Silent
they would
King, look at the stick.
They would knock the window over.
Look at the stick. It's pretty big.
Yeah,
I'm
with you.
In there.
I'm with you. And generally, when you're fighting against kind of like Cthulhu-style monsters, they generally appear through windows, tunnels.
Oh yeah.
Like there's always a tentacle reaching out from some nether region. Let's be true. So, do you think that the Silent King's got the opportunity to take him out, or that's probably unlikely?
He does for sure have the opportunity to take this off. But we had Lethal Miasma popped by the Tyranid player, which picks up one of the Menhirs. That's real good for him. It's one less bodyguard for that Silent King. So that was probably, 4 mortal wounds that were popped off by Lethal? Okay, Hive Tyrant just would have... oh, no, he doesn't because he's Gorgon. Yeah, so he popped Transhuman on the Hive Tyrant. Let's see...
Okay, so Hive Tyrant then now has got a 5-up invuln save in addition, right? Or has he got a 4-up? Has he got a 5-up or a 4-up?
I believe, yes, you're right that the CCBB is using the 2-inch engagement, but they're saying you can't, you couldn't consolidate out of engagement range, which was a problem with the GW kind of update ruling. Okay, so We've got, what, 4, 5. Oh.
Wow, we can see the spikes there on the
board.
board.
Rolls. Oh, my goodness. That's
dear.
I don't think that, that Hive Tyrant's going to have to live a healthy lifestyle here, because that's a lot of wounds.
Okay, let's see if he goes down. I'd love it if the player audio worked. 2 damage apiece.
Okay, so he does have Catalyst up, so we're going to see... He only takes 2 damage, guys. There's more rolls to go.
Okay, so
he didn't make any saves on the 3 damage hits. So he's got 5. Can we get back to the dice cam? I want to see this.
Yeah, sure.
We can.
What are those
so
dice?
Takes 6 more wounds.
Oh, he's 4 wounds left. One 4 up here. Oh, so he's
down to 3.
Not dead though.
Not dead.
But that's pretty devastating.
Down to 3 wounds.
That's pretty devastating. He's got to be pretty upset about that.
He is not. He can't be happy. It looks like he's going to first attack into the Scorpex. I'm assuming with the Trigon, or is it with the Hormagaunts? What's his plan here, Dickie? It looks like the Hormagaunts are piling in. So this has to be a second squad of Hormagaunts that he's come in to join the party, because he only had 4 left before. So.
Shout out to David in the chat. So still 5 attacks bracketed off of him. So his ability to strike back into the Silent King is much reduced.
But losing the Menhir to the stratagem there was good. Like it's a big help here for the Nid player. 49 points. That is such a swing. That's so crazy. Necrons, come on, guys. Let's look at these secondaries just for a second.
So again, just to catch up. Obviously, the primary is so super important. But he obviously went max on the primary. But it's his ability to score those secondaries, the 10, 4, and 8, that is really like.
So like Code of
propelled.
Combat is an interesting one, because I believe the only noble he's got in his list is the Silent King. I could be wrong there. I'll have to double check the list. But Silent King is going to get him 3 or 4 points like every turn.
What does he have to do in order to
kill
achieve it?
something?
With the Silent King.
With the Silent King. Can you imagine killing something with the Silent King?
Impossible.
Impossible.
You'll never do it.
But then Treasures of Aeons and Ancient Machineries is a very easy action based objective, especially because any vehicle can now perform it. And then Treasures of Aeons, he just has to be on those 3 middle objectives.
So he just has to be on the 3 middle objectives in order to achieve it.
And then he's getting those extra points. So it looks like 1 Scorpec was picked up by the squad of 10 Hormagaunts that.
So that was
came
the 4. That was the 4 who made the big 12-inch charge the turn before, and they were able to get some shots into the big bug top right-hand corner. And do some damage. But interesting. I don't know. I wouldn't. My friend Darren has a really good statement. Makes a really good statement. Kill what you can, which always seems like a really effective kind of like.
So it looks like the Trigon was picked up by the Scorpex.
So that was a Scorpex. So I guess maybe like that was the right decision, because you could have done the unit before and now definitely that unit that turn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like that there's always I always like the kill what you can kind of methodology because I feel like it gives you more board presence later on. But it has worked out at the same time. Okay, here we go.
Here's the Reaper.
Here's the Reaper in the middle.
Down to 5 attacks.
Going to do the big damage.
Well, he'll probably pick up he'll pick up a Menhir. Will he be able to do much damage? The tournament is not allowing Menhirs to be rezzed, as last I heard, guys. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Let's see if the Reaper being toned down a little bit by being bracketed so hard. What's he gonna accomplish here? He gets to reroll his 1s. Into more 1s, which is not as good. Let's cut back to that. Oh, yeah, the fight in the dice. It's hard. It's so hard. Only nothing. 1 damage goes through. Plus, one attack goes through, plus the mortal. Failed save, so that's... I don't know how many wounds were left on that other Menhir, but that might pick that up. No. How many wounds are left on that final Menhir?
We're going to find out in a moment.
1 wound left, yeah. So he really wanted at least 1 more attack to go through just to kind of remove that bodyguard element from the Silent King. This is This is real bad news for the Nids. I knew it was going to be a hard game for the Nids to play through. Like they were going to be relying a lot on getting in his face and trying to hold him back, and he just couldn't. And getting a fight lasted like that and taking as much damage as he did. At least he didn't die, I guess. But yeah, it was a big fat bounce. Big bad bounce. He really needed at least both menhirs to die and hopefully a few wounds to be stripped off.
What
the
do the menhirs do to the Silent King? Like what? So they're big rocks?
They're big rocks that protect the Silent King. They have to. They die first in most situations, unless you get some weird scenario going on. And they've got a really nice shooting profile, and that's really the big thing because that really helps him get his code of conduct when he's not, up in your face in melee, which he now is. So I fully expect here on the Necron player's turn, he's going to pick up that Hive Tyrant, which will get him another code of conduct set of points. Yeah, they do shoot very well.
Yeah, and he's already down. He's already down to 3 wounds.
He has 3
left.
wounds remaining, so the Silent King should easily pick him up. And then we'll probably see these Locusts pick up the big bad Maliceptor up here on the top left. And then it's really just going to be fat sailing for Necrons. Look, already back up to 57 points as they start to update. Let's cut back to the other table and see what we got going on.
Yeah,
there.
so just to wrap up this game, so that's the top of turn 3 finish now for Necron. So going into bottom of turn 3, is there anything you think Thomas can do here? He obviously has to maintain that objective at the top left-hand corner, so isn't doing anything there.
No, I honestly think the position that he's in, I don't see a way that he can turn this around. There is so much damage potential here in just the center for the Necrons. He still has a lot of speed available to him. He still has Tomb Blades going out live. And yeah, this Maliceptor being down only to 2 wounds, he's not going to be able to keep it without like some heavy
yeah, he's going to take some more damage. I don't know how he unpacks because you don't think, would he even withdraw from the center? Like you wouldn't just keep that unit in the fight in the middle, knowing it's just going to die. Like that doesn't achieve anything. Maybe into the Silent King, or would you swing again into the Silent King and then die?
I think that's what you got to do. You got to try and tone that down. Like the Silent King's one model, but you're in such a bad position right now. You need to weaken him in some state. I'm a little confused by how we finished scoring Necrons and now Necrons are moving. That's a whole other thing for me. Oh, it's okay. Richard made a mistake. I was very confused. Richard, Richard here is our table boss. He's absolutely the most beautiful, spectacular person. He's got weird ears, but don't talk to him about that. He would really like if you didn't bring it up. But he's new to technology, even though he is the producer for all of the full FLGN network. The full FLG network. He doesn't know how to use a tablet. He's blind in one eye. It's just a whole thing. He just broke the tablet, guys. I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
That's fine. Don't worry, he's doing good.
Let's cut over to Valerie.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, well, we're going to take a moment, yeah. So don't forget, these 2 games are 2 games that are part of of the whole of Capital City Bloodbath, the largest event happening in Canada. We're in Ottawa, and we're going to go over now to Mr. Val Heffelfinger live in the field, and he's going to let us know what's happening at the rest of the event. Here we go.
I now have Mike. Have they heard anything I've said? All right. Well, hi. Still Val Heffelfinger. You still can't hear me most of the time, but that's all right. We're rolling with it. Okay, so as I was saying, we're at the Capital City Bloodbath. About 30 minutes left in the round. I've set up some systems, some methods, so that you can follow what I'm following and maybe explain it to me. So, the first thing we got right behind here, we've got Connor Makarucha. He is the only Space Wolf player identified, self-identifying Space Wolf player in the roster. And by the way, we got Mortarion. I took a photo, and it looks like a lot of dead stuff, but he seems to be well up. He's like 41 to 20-something, top of 3rd, I think. So, it's looking all right for the Wolfie boys. As I said before, don't know if I mentioned it again, I have set up a command for the YouTube chat. Commander Rob will get it set up for Twitch probably in the next round. ! Other games. And that's going to hook you up with a doc that has all the things that I'm following. You can help explain it to me later. So why don't we move on? Actually, right behind us now in the rippling red shirt. I doubt is he in frame. There we go. That's Sam Procopio, everyone's favorite Blood Angel heartthrob, fresh from his tour of Europe and his desolation of Belgium. Currently working his way through a matchup against Necrons, a nice fella named Nick. If you go to ! Other games, you will actually get the live score off of Sam's ITC Battles app. Isn't technology fun? So if you want to follow along on what Sam's doing, I'm going to make sure that we always have his scores running in the machine using the internets. We're going to go one more. And this one, is a bit of a charity story. FLGN's very own Dustin Henshaw. He's out here gamely taking an attempt to play his Gene Stellar cults. He's stud or scrub. And he's all stud, folks. I'm not gonna slag Dustin. Dusty is playing Logan, who's got 1K sons. And again, I'm going to be keeping pictures of the scorecard up to date in my little travel document. As people start wrapping up, I'm going to start talking to them about their games and get a little bit of detailed analysis behind the scorecard. If you are interested in getting yourself some updates about a special person out there, maybe you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want to know what, I don't know, Konrad Matika's up to. Well, the answer is being tall and Polish. But if you wanted more detail than that, you could go in the chat, maybe, just throwing this out there, pay me money. I'll go do whatever you want. I'll dance, I'll spin around in circles. If you're interested later on, when that garage sale gets going, you tell me what you want, I'll go rummage through there. I'll mail it to you. Just pay me a bunch of money, and I'll do whatever you want. I don't actually have a real job, and I haven't played Warhammer in like 3 years. So I hope you guys are really enjoying the amazing coverage brought to you by the Tsports Network, Code Jam on the FLGN, and my man Tom on the camera in front of me. I'm just tap dancing here a little bit until Rob takes it back.
Thanks very much, Val. Great job there from our man in the field. He's done great. He's done great there, and I appreciate that. Right, so Capital City Bloodbath, me and the Falcon, Rob. Hello, this is me. The Falcon is here, and we are bringing you the 2 exciting games from round 1 of 6 rounds at Capital City Bloodbath. The game we're looking at now is on table 1. This is Caleb with his Raven Wing, who is at the bottom of the board, and Diego with his Necrons top of the board, although the board is now a mess.
Now an absolute disaster.
An absolute mess. I'm not sure the score is exactly right. I think it is. We're in the bottom of turn 3.
We are, well, no, I believe this is top of turn 3.
Top of turn 3.
Diogo is still on the go.
Okay, yes.
So what we saw here was after we left, we've come back. The score picks, remember how I said those score picks needed to die or bad things would happen to Caleb?
Yes,
well,
sir.
Look where the score picks are now and look where Caleb's stuff is.
Okay, yeah,
it's
so
not
just
there.
Yeah, not there. Just real quick run through what happened starting from turn 1. We had Caleb kind of move, Diego in his first turn moved his Ghost Arcs top left, bottom right hand corner, and then he moved some other units around. Then,
no one cares about them.
No one cares about them. Diego kind of snapped back really quickly, Caleb with his Raven Wing snapped back, killed the bottom Ghost Arc, no problem, tried to kill the top left. As you can see, it's still there, so it failed miserably. Then Necron's turn, and then he just kind of like swamped in the middle and stayed kind of like central. Diego's turn went mega aggro, charges in the bottom left-hand corner, wasn't able to actually do anything with them, charges at the top left-hand corner again, did eventually succeed in killing those bikes, I think.
Yep.
And then in the bottom right-hand corner, as you can see, advanced with the Silent King and moved in. Then Caleb's turn, he went all out, and we saw him shoot into the far right-hand corner, shoot into the top left-hand corner, clear the bottom left-hand corner, and now Diego has snapped back again. Pete, you were telling me.
Yeah, so one thing I'd mentioned in the previous round was that Caleb absolutely, Caleb absolutely had to clear this out or there were going to be problems. I do actually believe when we cut out a combat that he did manage to clear out those models. But because he had to do it in close combat, what we've been able to see is Diogo managed to bring this unit of 4 Scorpex that he had hiding up here, I'm quite sure that's what this is, down and clear out this mess. He had his Catan, who, you said was in trouble. Doesn't seem to be in too much trouble to me, come over and help out now that Catan is hanging out with Samael. Actually, I'd love to get a picture in here to see what exactly is still in this ruin, because if this is those previous Scorpex, then Caleb's in a whole load of trouble. We have seen the Silent King now move up into the middle and clear out literally everything that was in there. So this is huge. Like having the Silent King posted up here with at least 1 Menhir left that we can see, that's not good for Caleb. And this Ghost Ark still living. We've got the Ophidians still hanging out up here. 54-50 for Diogo currently. And I think have we moved on now to Caleb's bottom of turn?
Yeah, so if we just take a moment, look at the scorecard, you can see here, you can also see the secondaries as well. We've got a tight 4 points in it, and we're now in the top of turn 4.
Top of
turn 4.
No, this is bottom of 3.
Bottom of 3, because we're still. Oh, you score primary.
Yeah.
That's what's going to always confuse me. Yeah, that's going to confuse me. So yeah. Super chat, $20 Canadian from Nick Blackburn. Oh, thanks. Quality stream team, thanks for bringing this to us, especially the crew that had to miss CCB this year. I appreciate it. Oh, okay. Well, thanks so much. That's so lovely of you. Thank you. Very much appreciated.
So yeah, these scores, like we already talked about in that other game, Necron secondaries are so crazy. It's very easy to max them or almost max them. 2 of their secondaries are averaging almost 11 points per game right now in competitive play, which is absurd. And we're seeing it there. Diogo able to get those Treasures of Aeons. 8 points on Code of Conduct because the Silent King just has to breathe to score 4 points a turn doing that. So really big for Diogo. It's keeping him in this game because Caleb is playing his butt off. Like I have not given him credit. I don't think where credit is due. He's playing this list the way it's supposed to be played. He's everywhere all at once. He's dealing with every threat that Diogo's throwing at him.
Yeah, but that's what's good about how Diego has played this game. What he's done is he's given him, like we talked about this in turn 3. The bottom of turn 2. What Diego had given him, he'd given him 4 different places at least. 5 with the Catan, but the Catan was pretty easy to deal with in the middle.
Yeah.
But he had the bottom left-hand corner, top left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, Silent King in the center, and the Catan in the middle. And he was like, here are 5 things that you have to deal with right now. Yeah. And I love that because that gave him such an overload to deal with as opposed to dealing with things a bit more piecemeal. My friend Tom, who does the 40k Spy Center with me, says 40k is a lot about always controlling the center. He's like, if you can control the center, and I think what he often means is talking about board presence and board space.
Yes.
And I think what Diego basically did, but he controlled everywhere. He was like, I'm everywhere.
I'm everywhere all at once. You have to deal with me, just like the movies. Now Caleb once again having to respond, but he's running out of resources. He's had to back Samael off from this Catan. He's shoved his Thunder Strikes that he still has left into position. I'm sure he's going to try and pick up this Catan once and for all here in the shooting phase. I'm hoping it has less than 3 wounds left, so it will drop. Otherwise, he's going to be super sad about that whole situation. We do have this Balaka Scorpex, like I said.
That's 4 Scorpex still left.
Still just hanging out.
Still hanging out, ready. Like it really does feel like the Necrons have got more resources available to them than the Rainbow
Right now,
now.
Yes, it does look that way. We'll have to see. That Catan only having 2 wounds left. I think Caleb's really hoping that this first set of shots will take it down. Let's see what we can cut to and see how that's going.
So go into the shooting phase now.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. So the Melta's only done
Melta
2
went
wounds.
to the Silent King.
He's still
first.
got a Menhir, right? Or no?
Are the Menhirs all gone?
Are
Can
they
we get a little closer? There is 1 Menhir left?
There's 1 Menhir.
Okay.
So he was taking wounds on that first, right?
Yeah. Must be.
And the Catan is still up.
So he shot into the Silent King first. He must have changed his
But the Catan is still up from the turn before.
Yeah, with 2 wounds.
Wow. Okay, so bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah. So and that Catan had gone into Samael. Look, Samael's been injured. Like that whole corner being wiped like that.
That whole bottom right-hand corner just melted.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's an amazing slapback. I really thought that the Ravenwing were in a really positive spot there, but like the blowback has been particularly
deadly. I think a big thing for Caleb that he did not want to have happen is this should not still be going on. The fact that that Ghost Arc is still hanging out because he had to split all his fire and try to deal with all of Diogo's resources. Remember how you said you weren't sure if the 6 Ophidians down here were a mistake or not? Because he had to put all those resources into clearing them, it definitely wasn't, because this corner is still belongs to Diogo.
Yeah, he's split the output, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you feed everything piecemeal. Okay, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for the stream. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Alan Cannon. Well, that's the first time I've ever had super chats.
So it looks like the attack bikes or the Thunderstrike failed to wound the Catan, and we're moving into the small arms fire from it.
Yeah.
He really, really wants his Catan to die, like nobody's business. 3 wounds through.
I think Diego's absolutely conscious that this is going down now. Like, he doesn't seem particularly. He's gone. Yeah, he doesn't seem overly phased.
He did. Like, he knew that it was going to die. He just wanted as many shots to go into it as possible. So that was big for him.
Yeah, look at Diego doesn't look at him, calm, cool, collected.
I mean, he's a Portuguese fellow living in Canada. I don't even know if he's Portuguese. He might be Italian.
He wants to go back to Europe. Actually, he was telling me last night.
But they won't take him on the WTC team because he's too problematic. Look at that face.
Well, he's actually currently getting. So Chris, who was member of the Canadian
captain of Team Canada,
right now,
shoving a blowhorn in his face there for a second.
Yeah,
so
he was just like, "You need to hurry up and get better."
Yeah, it's all about time. These like we said earlier, guys, the clock on these rounds are only 2.5 hours. It's pretty short by most tournament standards. So
15 minutes left on the clock.
Only 15 minutes now.
That cannot be accurate.
I believe we're hoping to get the stream guys a couple extra minutes because of the fact that we had to put mics on them and we had to chat with them about how to live their lives graciously in case we mic'd them, and you guys got to hear them.
If you guys want to check out the schedule is live on probably Twitter. I actually don't know right now. Try ! schedule, see if that works for now, but I don't know. 5 minutes.
5-10 minutes?
No, you have to double check that with the judges, though, right?
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, let them tell us.
So
like,
the judges are there.
You tell us, we don't mind.
Darren Say, who is the master of the Adeptus Custodes, even though he's never performed well with them at all. Essentially the head judge of the event. We're going to see if he can give the tables a few more minutes just to at least get into turn 4. We knew this could be a problem with the stream setup. For this first game in particular. Also, Necron's not the fastest army in the games when it comes down to it. So, no. But we see another Menhir being picked up. They're going to give us an extra 5 to 10 minutes to these games, which is great.
So
guys.
it's going to give them about 30 minutes maximum to finish these games off. Yeah. And both games are nearing or entering into turn 4.
Yeah, and we're looking at nearing, especially I would say. Table 2 is looking like it's near completion from a
table 1's not in a poor place, right?
No, this is a very close game.
They're very close, but there's a lot. It's quite resource light now. Catan going down bottom right hand corner, as you can see there, and we've got the Ghost Arc still. That's Ghost Arc top left-hand corner, and then the Silent King Taker that center board. So Ravenwing really struggling, but as you can see, they've still got pieces that center left-hand side, top and bottom right-hand side. They've still got pieces.
If we could see that top right-hand side ruin, what's still left inside it? I believe that's the one.
Right-hand side ruin.
Yeah.
On
the one Diego's leaning over right now.
So you're at the bottom left-hand corner.
If you want to if you can get in right there, just push Diogo over. Oh, there's just one bike left in there, so he must have gone in and cleared out the scarabs that were in there.
Nice.
To take that objective, which is good. And so these 4 were the Scorpex that had been hiding out. So Caleb taking advantage of the Scorpex evacuating.
See, that's what I mean. It's the opportunity to just always have that. That's why I like Kill What You Can, because any opportunity to just have a single thing that's available to score an objective, score you a secondary, it's so key, I think, in lots of these games.
So did the Ghost Arc blow up, or is he just? Are we got now in top of 4? This feels like we've just moved to top of 4. Yeah. So we're now in top of 4. Diogo is popping his warriors out to start clearing out those bikes. We'll get scores here momentarily. Why don't we cut to the other table and see what's going on there?
No problem.
Still massacre. Oh,
so to keep you
worse.
I know it's looking really rough for Tyranids, and I thought Tyranids were gonna just do some dominant work here. But if we take the opportunity to talk about what happened, the Tyranids kind of moved into the center, tried to grab some of the objectives effectively. They didn't really do any first turn engagement into the Necrons.
They managed to pick up most of the Canaptic Wraiths that our Necron player had been using. However, that was exactly what he wanted. He put those Canaptics into the center board to draw the Hive Tyrant out, to draw the Hive Guard out, whatever he could. not the Hive Guard, the Hive Tyrants. The game has been going exactly how the Krons wanted it to go. He's shoving models into the center. He doesn't mind if he loses them. These Locust Destroyers, though, these 3 big boys right here that I believe used to be 6 big boys, they have done a lot of work. They picked up that Maliceptor that was they did most of the job of picking up the Maliceptor that
he was kind of like ponderously, like he was going from the top right-hand corner to the top left-hand corner.
He just kind of moseyed his way and took all the damage possible. The Scorpex that had been in the middle cleared out the Trigon that had been supporting. And the big play there was losing a lot of his Hormagaunts immediately. When that 12-inch charge came off the Scorpex and cleared that center of most of the Hormagaunts and managed to put some damage on the Trigon, it forced the Nid player to make some decisions I don't think he wanted to.
It also eventually lost the monster in the center as well, right?
Yes.
Like to that 12-inch charge may be the clinch moment of the game.
I think Necrons were in a very good position to begin with. That made it so that like the Tyranid player had very little chance of coming back. It kind of shows where Nids are when you're not running, say, Leviathan or maybe Behemoth, where you don't have that little extra oomph of survivability. That those factions kind of provide. I think it was Alan Cannon in chat or Nick Cannon. Somebody famous mentioned that there had been the shot there where the Hive Tyrant maybe, because there had been a Menhir down here, I believe, the Hive Tyrant instead of charging the Silent King could have charged down this way and tagged the Menhir instead. We're not sure based on positioning if that was possible. That would have been a very key play because it could have avoided that fight last that happened. And with the Hive Tyrant at full bracket, that's a much, I wouldn't say dead Silent King, but that's a Silent King that is far weaker. He can't do what he did.
Yes, of course. Yeah, he doesn't have quite the output that like he did previously. Yeah.
And you're right, Tom. Yeah, the Tyrant could not hold down the center all by himself. Yeah.
He failed massively. Like he charged in. Like he just didn't have that.
The fight last was really what put it down to him, right? When he got hit with that fight last, and the Silent King was able to put him on bottom bracket immediately, was a big hurt.
I did not. Yeah, I wasn't overly impressed by that at all, to be honest. Like the Nids basically haven't been able to move from like that kind of center L on the right-hand side, and then they've just been predominantly pushed back further and further by the Necron Force, which is actually quite surprising to me because I thought what we were actually going to see was the reverse. I thought we were going to see the Necron Castle trying its hardest to hold in the center and getting beat back slowly, losing resources. But it just seems to have been, as you can see, the score's really reflecting that. The Necrons have done the reverse of what we were expecting, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tom's nailed it. So when that Hive Tyrant flew into the middle turn 1, killed a bunch of stuff, flew back, which we thought was the proper play because the Silent King came out to play, but then he flew right back into the mess rather than probably a better play, in my opinion, in retrospect, coming down here and starting to clear stuff off, kind of ignoring the Silent King, letting the Silent King do what he wanted. Yeah, exactly. Harass the sides. Come down, take this objective away, or back up the Maliceptor that was up here. Both would probably have been better plays. I think it was because he forgot about the fight last. I think he got a little too greedy, thought to himself, I'm going to kill the Silent King or put him down to a couple wounds.
Yeah.
Got fight lasted and was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
That's a thing.
That's the thing. At
what point do you think that comes up in the conversation, though? Right? Like, does he say, like, does he move over and then you're like, by the way, don't forget, I'm going to be like fight last, or you just like he moves charges? Yeah, he just moves charges and gives him the opportunity. What do you think?
Exactly.
Okay, well, you guys in the chat let us know what you were doing in that situation. However, we're going to, as some of these games are wrapping up now at Capital City Bloodbath Round 1, we're going to go to our man Val Heffelfinger in the field right now.
Hello, everyone. I'm joined now with Conrad Motika, a true giant of Warhammer 40,000. From Poland, so perhaps it runs in the blood. We all know they're very good at the WTC or whatever they're called. How did your first round go, Conrad?
It went pretty well. I played against Imperial Knights. I won 93-43. I managed to get his knights down pretty quickly initially, and I managed to cast all my psychic powers, which is key for Eldar. But other than that, it went pretty well.
Sounds like it went fantastic. Now, from what I understand, you were caught unawares by Darren's FAQ about the Wraith Gate, no, so the Warp Gates.
Yes.
Whatever they are.
So I had to place them unorthodoxly because usually you're able to get a little janky with them, but this time around I had to kind of split them apart, and the footprint is a lot bigger for the gates themselves, but the footprint for actual deep strike or like the reserves is a lot smaller, so it makes it a little harder to kind of place units.
Well, at least, you know, it probably looks the way it was supposed to go. And I'm glad that you were able to overcome the challenge. I grew up with this man. He really grew up with me. Back to you, Rob.
Thanks very much, Val.
What a legend.
What a legend.
What a legend.
What a legend. Okay, so welcome back to Table 1. This is our match with Caleb and Ravenwing and Diego and his Necrons. And here we go. Catch us up. Falcon, what have we seen?
So we're getting some scores updated here. It looks like we're at bottom of turn 4. We saw before we cut, we saw the Necron Warriors pop out of this Ghost Arc, which has survived way longer than I thought it would need to, which is amazing for Diogo. Things that were missing that weren't missing before. There was a really bright red dude with a giant sword hanging out down here.
There was.
He is no longer in existence.
He's dead.
So Samael, Sam-I-Am, R.I.P. I think we cut to the wrong screen here.
Sorry, apologies.
Nobody cares about that.
There he is. There he is.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. That's the charge. That's what we're seeing at the top right corner.
Yeah, so Caleb's, I believe, pre-measuring what he has to do to get in on a charge. Or no, maybe he actually
He's done the charge. He's in. Yeah. He's in on the unit there in the top left-hand corner. So, yeah, Samael is dead in the bottom right-hand corner, as discussed. Silent King and his Scarabs in the middle there.
Yep.
And then the Ravenwing now looking to still deal with that. Turn 1, they tried to deal with that Ghost Arc at the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
And at 4...
They've sat there the entire game.
I'm just here to score points.
I'm just here to score points and live my best life. It looks like the Silent King did take some wounds from the multi-meltas. His last Menhir must have been picked up. How many wounds does he have remaining there? 13? 12? Or, sorry, 14?
Oh, yes. Wait, hold on. 13. We got a nod from the cameraman.
13. He looks
13.
So he's still quite healthy. But he does have a number of Thunderstrikes and Land Speeders that have really good angles onto him now, so we'll have to see if he survives another turn. I will say, like, this is an intensely close matchup, 72-68 at bottom of 4.
So let's just see what the opportunity to score is in this matchup. So with the scores being right, like as you can see, primary scoring has been the difficult part for both players, but secondary has been pretty solid with Diego and now capped out, and he's only got Purge the Vermin available to him left.
And Purge is not something he's going to be able to, I think, score very much more on without some really heavy, without some really successful shooting. Purge is like the weird choice for me for Diego going up against.
Ravenwing.
Going up against Ravenwing because of how fast they are.
What is Purge do?
So Purge is like a reverse engage on all fronts. He wants to have units. He wants to keep units out of table quarters in order to score points. So he was able to do that early and get that 9 really quick. But now he's kind of in a situation where he has to pull a couple more resources. It does force Caleb to kind of move his units in a kind of janky ways to keep denying the points to Diogo. So we'll have to see if he's capable of doing so and staying alive, because right now Caleb does have these 3. It does have models in 2 quarters. I believe this one has been cleared out, and this one. So he might still get another 2 or 3 next turn. We'll have to see, which will be really big for Diogo. I'm mostly concerned for the Silent King right now.
It's going to be tough for him to score. I'm concerned for him to score. Don't forget, Diego also went first as well, so Caleb's going to score last turn 5.
Exactly, and that's going to be big for him. Look, got some big 6s here. It looks like Diogo survived some Melta shots to the Silent King's face. We're now moving to another Thunderstrike going in. This is kind of the big stuff. Val is waiting to do an interview, but I really want to see at least a few of these big guns before we cut over.
Well, what's nice is, by the way, just 1 minute. So what's nice for everyone at home to know is each one of these games is being recorded in full with player audio at the same time.
Yes.
So on the Tsports Network, we will upload all 12 games in full with player audio. So it's very much like you would expect to see maybe from some other live streams or like a kind of a battle report. You can just watch the whole thing in full. So if you're like, I really enjoyed that game, then you can go and watch it back in full as well.
Yeah.
So we're doing both jobs at the same time for everyone who's watching at home. So I hope you enjoy that.
And it looks like the Silent King took another 5 or 6 wounds here off of a Melta shot.
Yeah.
He's got 8 remaining. So he took 5 from a Melta. This could be big for Caleb if he can pick him up. He's in a good position to do so. Diogo still has enough resources, though, that I think it's going to be close. If he pulls this off, it's going to be a 2 or 3 point game.
So the Silent King going down is what he has to do this turn.
Caleb wants this, or he's going to be in real bad shape. He's got 2 wounds remaining. I think he's got this. He's still got 2 units that can see him. I believe this Thunderstrike still hasn't gone yet, and that should be able to pick him up. We'll have to see. A spike, a good invuln here for the Silent King, and Caleb's going to be a really unhappy camper.
I don't know if I want. I don't know at this stage if I want the Silent King to go down or not go down. Like, I don't know who I'm rooting for, if I'm honest.
I love both these guys. Caleb is just a beautiful soul, and like Diogo, while he is problematic in every way you can possibly imagine, I do love him too.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Like we've held hands. We've held hands a couple of times.
He's still alive. He's still alive.
Oh, he's blowing up. It looks like we might have had. It looks like the final shot may have done him in. We're gonna see what's going on here. He explodes.
We'll find out.
We're gonna see. Yeah, he definitely exploded. We're putting some mortals on some scarabs.
So he's dead.
He's dead.
The Silent King is dead.
Those scarabs still being there is still fine for Diogo. Like, he's still in this game for sure. This doesn't take him out of it by any means. Given that he still has full control here and here. We'll have to see what happens in the charge phase for that.
I mean, he survived a lot, that Silent King. I'm not going to lie.
Did.
Like,
he survived more than Caleb wanted him to,
yeah.
for sure. Like, you can see Caleb, who always has a smile on his face behind that mask because he is part of the 1%. He is sweating a little bit.
He's struggling. Okay,
Why
so
don't we cut now that we've got that Silent King
we're going to go over to our man in the field, Mr. Val Heffelfinger. He's going to catch us up with some more information and some great stories from Capital City Bloodbath.
Sure, yeah. Hello. Can you hear me? I don't know, but I'm going to talk as if you can. So I'm Val Heffelfinger. I'm joined here by Connor Macarucha, People's Champion, local hero, self-identified Space Wolves player, the only one in the field. We're going to be up in your business this weekend, Connor, because the Space Wolves are a popular People's Champ choice. You all right with that?
Yeah, well, apparently they're not the People's choice because no one else here is playing them, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys.
Connor's going to put that Legion on his back toe and just carry it the whole way. However, first game here, we're joined by Joel playing Death Guard, rocking Mortarion in that list. How did it go? Space Wolves kicked your ass, yeah?
Space Wolves are good, man. You know, like they got it all. They're good. They're fast. They hit hard in close combat. It was a good match. You had a lot of bodies. You know, it was kind of overwhelming at first, but I had that toughness. You know, Death Guard hanging around, and I just came back a little bit at the end. But at the start, I was sweating. You had me sweating.
I mean, I think we're all sweating a bit in the heat, but yeah, definitely. My list, it starts off really looking good, strong, because it's nothing but bodies. So you kind of just take every objective. And then eventually people realize that you can kill them, and then they start dying. But
They die like dogs.
They die like dogs, but sometimes they go down swinging. I think Ragnar took 2 dudes with him on his death. So it's all two characters, so that's always good.
Well, that's all you could ever hope for. Joel, just very quickly, because we're going to hear from Connor a lot. We're going to go to the names of all of his sergeants and stuff. It's going to be a long day. But I would like to know a little bit about Mortarion, because, hey, I love the big guys, and he's out and not usually out. So why is Mortarion here today?
Mortarion's here today because of the terrain we have. Our player pack today, it's all closed windows, so I can actually hide him. There's a lot of night players out today, and you know, he needs that extra coverage. You know, if he's not behind something, he can get blown up turn 1. So definitely the terrain helps. You need to cover him. You need to be patient, and then when your enemy kind of gets closer, then you pop him out and attack. But if it weren't for the closed windows, he would not be here.
Okay, well, thanks for that so much, guys. Best of luck in the rest of the event. We'll probably see you both along the way. Beautiful armies. Maybe you'll be on stream yourselves. I'm just going to walk and talk a little bit, because there's a glint coming from the distance, a glimmer, if you will, shining on the horizon. I'm joined now by Dustin Henshaw, who's running Gene Stealer Cult up against the Thousand Suns today. How'd that first round matchup go?
Actually went really well. My turn 2 and 3 went exactly how I needed to. Got all my points pretty much maxed out by turn 4, and that was that.
Just a casual drubbing from old Dusty here. You're going to see more of him, I'm sure, this weekend. Gene Stealer Cults, good, bad. What's happening with them right now?
I think they're great, but I don't want to give them too much credit right now because I like being a snowflake.
He is a snowflake, a beautiful and unique snowflake. And what more beauty and uniqueness do you need than our friends? I don't understand what he said because he speaks fast, but I was going to throw it back to Rob and Peter. Okay. Over to Rob and Pete.
Hello, thank you very much to Mr. Val Heffelfinger. Great job there. Hello, everyone in the chat. The final moments of round 1, Capital Bloodbath 2022. That's correct. And Pete, what is happening on table 1, a blistering final to this.
So this game is tight as can be. Right, you see here, we've already had Diego's top of turn 5. Diego, he did what he could. He positioned his warriors out as best he could to try and keep this objective his. He maneuvered his scarabs to try and avoid shooting from a couple of the units. And then his Scorpex have just sat down to hold here. The big thing here with bottom of turn scoring for Caleb wants to clear these scarabs, and he wants to kill this Ghost Ark. If he can do both of those things, I believe the game is his. Otherwise, it's going to be like a very, very tight 1 or 2 point game here for Diogo. So like this is right down to the wire.
Yeah, 74-86, right? That's very, very close at the moment. Just taking a look at the scorecard, see where all those points come in. So as we talked about, Diego's only got 4 points available to him from the secondaries.
Yeah, and he won't get them now because he's already had his turn.
So then it's just going to be about whether or not Caleb can pick up those final points.
Yep.
Very close.
So he has picked up the scarabs. I believe next it's can he finish this Ghost Ark, because it looks like the warriors have all been removed, unless we can get a close. Maybe they're hiding in the building, which would change things.
Is there any warriors hiding in the building? That's the real question. I'm not sure. But we'll find out from our table boss from our infield cameraman, the Tom, is what we'll do. There's no warrior.
So it's just that Ghost Ark.
Surrounded, like literally surrounded at the moment, right?
So all the scarabs have been picked up. That's good for Caleb. He's going to hold more by the looks of things. So he'll score 12, which will give him the tie. Now, what about his secondary will be the big thing.
Okay. Oh, here we go. So
this should be Caleb.
We just got the handshake.
Yes.
We just got the handshake there.
So he scored an extra 2 points on shock tactics, I believe, or 3, and that gives him the game. 92-87.
92-87.
What a beautiful
to
game.
Caleb. Wow, that is very close. What do you think the key points were? So just to catch everyone up in how that match went. Effectively, a very aggressive Necron first 2 turns, and then when the Raven Wing finally did unpack, it did a pretty significant amount of damage. But then the slapback coming from the Necrons was also pretty significant. So it felt very undulating, the game.
This game was like tight all the way through. Those Thunderstrike Storm Speeders really did all of the work Caleb needed them to do. I think that was the big turning point. There was being able to pick up that Silent King from almost full in 1 turn of shooting. That was really it. Like Diogo really wanted at least 1 more unit worth of shooting to go into the King before he dropped. Taking whatever it was, like 11 wounds or 12 wounds off just from one Thunderstrike shooting into him was not good. And I think that was really the key, the thing that flipped the game for Caleb there in that final round, getting the King to die without using as many resources as he normally would have needed to.
Yeah, significant. Yeah, very, very, very exciting match. Really, really fun to talk about. Only 1 match left on the dying minutes of this round. Now, we just saw a handshake on 2 as well.
While Val was talking, I did go over and chat with them very briefly. Like they were, this was a really friendly game. Thomas and Phil. Phil was kind of walking Thomas through like his best bet to maximize his score. They like played like champs. So like
just to catch everyone up on what happened in this match as well. We saw a very aggressive Necron force. We thought it was going to be a very defensive force, but it just pushed right into the middle, and then the Tyranid force was just absolutely unable to hold that line.
So going into this match, I kind of said, and Phil himself agreed, the whole plan for Phil was he was just going to keep running up to the line with models and then hope he died slower than the Tyranids could kill him. I hope he died slower than he needed to score his points. Unfortunately, the Nid player got really aggressive in the middle, trying to kill the Silent King. Lost his key piece, being that Hive Tyrant, and that was kind of it. Once that Hive Tyrant was down, it was all Necrons all the time.
Exciting matches, really fun matches, really especially seeing 2 very different sort of matches there. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. Great pick in there, P. So we're going to interview the players that we saw play a moment ago.
Diogo?
Yeah. We're going to go over now to our man in the field. Right now, here we go.
Not just a man in the field, your man in the field. Val Heffelfinger back on camera once again. Shades are on. It's game time. Well, not for these guys. They've already finished. We've got Caleb, and say it with me, Rob, Diogo. Yes, very good. How did the game go? I've been running around trying to find deals at the garage sale. How things happen? I can't even tell from the body language. Diogo's unreadable.
It was a win for me, but it came down to the last turn and getting stuff onto the objectives at the end there.
Yeah, no, I went. I really wanted to go second. I rolled a 2, and I was like, that's a solid roll. And then he rolled a 1. I was like, it's not a solid roll for me. So, yeah, we were actually just talking now. I should have done something to get a little bit more points, and it might have changed things. But I tried to get as many points as I could. Like 87 loss is still pretty good.
That sounds like a high loss, and getting more points, always a good strategy, I think. That works pretty much in any game. Someone told me that it was a kind of pivotal moment with the Silent King. Any more extrapolation there? I guess when he died. What happened? He went silent.
Luckily, when he died, I already had all his Code of Combat points, which was good. But actually, the most important thing that I think turned the game was the Ghost Arc that was in this corner. I should have gotten out the Warriors like 2 turns sooner, and that would have got me more points throughout the game.
Yeah. It's, he kept just a single OBSEC model on the thing, and I kept healing back 1 bike to take it from him every turn, and that kept him off the primary. So I kept him to low primary most of the time, which is, I thought I have to just go full speed into the Necrons and stop him from getting as many points as I can while I slowly lose my army. So.
Now, Army, that's a good point. I mean, you guys are both outstanding hobbyists. Beautiful armies, one and all. Caleb, though, is a bit more like a drug-fueled nightmare. Caleb, maybe just really quick, why don't you run down the insanity here and how you feel this gives you an advantage by confusing your opponents?
So it's a Ravenwing list, but I painted them as sort of ghost Ravenwing. So you got little skulls on guys. And then for some reason I decided on lava bases. And so I've got my Samuel there who is got a ghost coming out. And yeah, I figure Diogo can answer, but lava bases help to distract you from the guns up top.
So I was confused the whole time. Yeah, let it be known. That's why I lost. Confusion.
He was lost. Caleb playing low down and dirty. But I said I was going to compliment you this time because I always give him a lot of the caca. Caleb, in fact, believe it or not, is a friend of mine. So I think we're probably going to do something else now. Final score, 92-87. Cable versus, say it once again, all at once, Diogo. You're going to hear it again. Over to you, boys.
Okay, good. This is us. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. That's it. That's the wrap-up. Not bad first round. A little bit tech to sort. We're going to try and sort that player audio so people can hear it. Little bits, but a special shout-out to everyone in the field. So Val, Rich, and Tom doing great work there. Falcon, what do you think of the games? Exciting little matches?
That Caleb versus Diogo match was excellent. Just like a really seeing how that Ravenwing list played. Caleb played it perfectly as best as he could. Diogo really forgetting to take your warriors out. It's a bit of a misplay, I guess, but you know what? He was definitely trying to keep them alive as long as possible. He's probably right. Bringing them out a turn or two earlier would have scored him another 8 points, and that swings the game in his favor, right? Yeah. So it is a big change. Yeah, slobber knocker of a match. I just want to thank the chat for being so into the games, being so into us. I know I'm a handsome face, but you couldn't see it for most of the time.
Also, I think I'm right in thinking, other than obviously the Games Workshop streams, there's been War Games Live. He does a great job.
Joe's beautiful.
Joe does a great job of bringing in lots of live coverage, but a lot of it is obviously no commentary stuff. So it's nice to mix and match, and I hope you guys are enjoying that as much as just listening to the players play. Yeah. So special shout out to Falcon, who's bringing all the info. I don't have a clue what's happening. There's some melter shots, there's some things happening.
I'm doing my best. I also only had 3 hours sleep, and I don't know.
We got
40K is a weird game.
Yeah, it's a weird game. Anyway, so we're going to be back in 15 minutes, unfortunately. 15 minutes where we're going to be back for the next round.
And we're going to try to get you guys some Imperial Knights by the sounds of things, and maybe some Orcs.
There's a lot. There's a lot out there. So we're going to try and bring you the best match we can. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon. And thanks for listening to the Tsports Network, the home of tabletop sports.